Yo! Welcome to the Boss Up Ball Live podcast, your home for a gang debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Professor Kurt Steele. The Lions Bears game isn't just about team over team, it's about elite athletes in crucial individual matchups. On today's show, we're talking about the trenches, the secondary, and some unsung heroes who will decide the fate of the NFC North Showdown on Sunday. Man, stick around. We'll be looking at some key player matchups, man, that will determine the winner of the game on Sunday. But do the channel a quick favor. Like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us with that YouTube algorithm and gets our content to more Detroit Lions fans like yourself. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers, and we're only 4 away at $29.96. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. But shout out to our channel members. If you don't know, here you go. We got T-Bone, Locke, Sean Bird, Lauren Vander Esch, Britt DeWitt, Miss Mary Smith, John Martin, and Kukayam. So make sure you check out how to become a member in the description of this video or on the homepage of our YouTube channel. Man, now it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome our special guest to the platform today, man. It is none other than Jason Harwood of Talking Grit Podcast. Good morning, Jason. How you doing, man?
I am so happy to be here, Kurt. Thanks for having me on.
Man, Jason, I was just on his show the other night, man, and had a blast with him and his co-host, man. And I said, man, come on to the platform, man. He was over on the Road Alliance UK stream a few weeks ago and hooked up there, man. I've been following his work for a few months, man. And these guys do an outstanding job, man, of talking Detroit Lions football. So go check out the Talking Grit Podcast, man, on their YouTube channel or wherever you can find your podcast. But all right, Jason, man, I brought you here to talk matchups, man, because we got to look at the matchups for the game, man. But of course, before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, you don't know how our show works. We look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, and takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up with that big blade dance. If we disagree, we say they are balled on, or we give our takes of why we agree or disagree. But for live shows, I like to do a little differently. It's interactive. If you agree, put hashtag bossed up in the chat. If you disagree, put hashtag balled on. And if we get a chance to it, man, we'll put it on the screen and talk about it. But no hot takes here, just natural debate and our true thoughts and opinions about what's going on with our favorite team. It's the Detroit Lions, of course, man. All right, Jason, man. So let's look at some of these matchups, man. The first matchup on offense for me is when the Lions offense on the field, man, it has to be the Bears pass rush versus the Lions offensive line. Chicago was able to get to J.J. McCarthy for 3 sacks on Monday night, primarily out of a 4-man front. And Detroit gave up 4 sacks against Green Bay against a 4-man front. Offensive coordinator John Morton said that the communication on the offensive line has been fixed, and that because, of course, the communication on the interior offensive line was an issue. They got to be able to be in the right pass protection and run blocking schemes, because the members of the line were running different plays, man. You can see it on the film where one guy was running one way, the other guy was running another way, and lo and behold, here comes a Green Bay defender. You have to be able to do this to keep the pass rush off Jared Goff and to open up running lanes for our running backs. That's one key matchup I'm looking at. The next one, definitely, I want to look at, and I'll get you to summarize here in a second, is Sam Laporta, Sam I Am versus the Lions, versus the Bears linebackers, man. Now, Sam I Am, of course, other lines are receiving versus Green Bay. TJ Hockenson didn't have a great game for the Bears, but their linebackers, the Bears linebackers aren't great in coverage, right? We all know this. Laporta had a big second half versus the Packers, which I believe will continue on Sunday. I believe we can utilize Sam I Am versus those teddy bear linebackers. They're good in run support, but they're not great against the pass. And then last, certainly not least, another one on the offense is David Montgomery, Demo, versus his former team. Woo-wee. Now this gonna be a great matchup right here, man. David Montgomery versus his former team in 3 games versus the Bears. Demo has had 230 rushing yards and averaged 5.3 yards per carry. He loves playing the Bears, man. Now he's only had 1 TD, but that TD came in that thrilling fourth quarter comeback at Ford Field to sell the win in 2023. And the Bears gave up 120 yards on the ground versus the Vikings. And they gave up those rushing yards to Jordan Madison, who is that same type of back that David Montgomery is. Big, bruising, can get through the hole. And we all know what Sonic can do once he gets loose. But if you loosen those guys up and on that Bears front with David Montgomery, I believe that we can have a great success. But those are the 3 matchups I'm watching versus the Bears. First, let's get back to the first one there, Jason. Bears pass rush versus the Lions offensive line. What do you think about that matchup?
You hit it right on the head. The missing assignments affected that game versus the Packers immensely. And if the Lions clean up their own mess, they're not going to beat themselves. So getting all that stuff right is going to be imperative. Montez Sweat is no Micah Parsons. They don't have what the Packers have. They were effective against the Vikings. That's for sure. But they had a rookie quarterback. Jared Goff will be much better, much more poised, especially in the first 3 quarters. JJ looked good in the fourth quarter, but he didn't look great in the first 3 quarters. So I'm not as worried about the Bears pass rush, certainly as much as the Packers. And also, we are at home, and that's going to fix a lot of the offensive line problems with the miscommunication, no silent count. So if you're at Ford Field, keep your mouth shut when the Lions are on offense.
All right. And now let's look at Sam I Am versus the Bears linebackers.
Yeah, this is going to be another thing that the Lions need to get going is passing over the middle of the field. That will help open up some rushing lanes. We got to hope that we're running, and we'll get to that with the David Montgomery matchup next. And that could pull the linebackers in and open up the middle of the field behind there. You're right. Their coverage is not that great from their linebacking crew. We should be able to eat them up over the middle of the field, and Sam Laporta is going to be our main target on that.
Okay, and let's talk about that doggone Demo, man. That's my guy right here, David Montgomery versus the Bears. How do you think he fares versus his former club?
It's hard to imagine that you need any more motivation for David Montgomery. The guy's intense. He's an awesome running back. And if you could look back at the Packers game, he was far more effective running than Jameer, especially running in between the tackles. He makes people miss. He's hard to bring down. And with this added motivation, we need David Montgomery. We need him to, again, pull the safeties in so we could take deep shots over later in the game. The Packers were able to play a deep shell, so everything had to be in front. It's because we couldn't run on them. We need to be able to run the ball. Dave Montgomery and his hard-nosed running, the ability to make guys miss, it's going to be imperative for us to get a win on Sunday.
All right. Hey, guys, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. Let's see who is in the chat this morning, man, so we can get some of these contents on the screen, man. Good morning, Miss Mary Smith. She says, good morning, boss of Bala Kukayam. Another one of our channel members, man. Good morning, Professor. Your football IQ is on a Jedi level. I respect that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You finally said my name correctly. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right. Our resident Bears fan, Broski Bear, says Lions offensive line will be tested. Their interior, Bears strategy is to generate pressure up the middle and get in Goff's face to cause turnovers. Bob, I would agree with that 100%. Yeah, that should be the strategy, you know what I'm saying? The way our offensive line played last week. Another channel member, Lauren Vander Esch, says, what up, bosses? Good morning. What up, though? What's going on, Lauren Vander Esch? Good morning, bosses. My man, who could do? I didn't think you would have a show today. Of course, I'm here today, man. You know how we get down. I just happened to miss last Friday, man. If y'all did not know, I'll take a second to catch the bag now. Last Thursday, I was in a pretty decent car accident and totaled my car. And I had some back issues and things of that nature. So I was able to, I had to take a couple of days off, man. I didn't let it out the bag, but I'm fine. Everything's fine. But I just had to get a new car. So, I walked away with a few bumps and bruises and some, very sore for a middle-aged man, 53 years old. So I was bust up for a couple of days, but I'm good, man. We back, we strong. That's what we doing, man. Right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, man. Demo going to have a date, of course, man. What is our Bears fan? TJ Edwards plays that will help the pass coverage from linebacker. So is a middle linebacker forced to play outside linebacker right now. I agree with that. I like Noah Sewell's intensity, man, but he is not an outside linebacker, man. He suffered in coverage, man. Kugayam says David Montgomery needs to set the tone and then sneak in the speed. Of course, man. You got to have my man. You can't have Sonic without Knuckles. So, all right, so let's kind of shift gears over to the defensive side of the ball, man. But let me shout out to my man, Coach Dan says woo and get woo to you this morning too. Line over there at Lions Talk Live, man. That show, man, every morning at 7:00. He puts in great content and work over there. So definitely shout out to my man, Coach Dan over there at Lions Talk Live. But all right, Jason, let's move over to the defensive side of the ball because we got to get to the defense. Can't have one without the other. Let's hide this comment. All right, so let's look at the defense. And first up has to be for myself, DJ Reader versus Joe Thuney and that defense, man. Before we get to that, man, hey, the Boss Up Ball Out merch shop is now available, man. Find the link in the description of the video and on the homepage of our channel. Put in the code Boss Up Ball Out 10 at checkout and get $45. When you spend $45, you get 10% off an item. Our channel members get 15% off their total order. So check out the community tab for that discount code or link to the coupon. All right, so Joe Thuney and DJ Reader is a matchup of two veteran linemen that's worth watching. Now, the Bears did not have a great showing in the run game with DeAndre Swift. Actually, their leading rusher was Caleb Williams on Sunday. But I will say this. I know bad performances when I see it because Swift didn't have a great game, and he still outgained both our backs. But DJ Reader must be able to command double teams by dominating Thuney on the line and one-on-ones to stop the run. And that allows the linebackers to play better in run support and to be able to blitz on passing downs. And then, of course, looking at the next matchup that I want to look at is the Lions linebackers versus the Bears tight ends. We talked about what our tight ends need to do against their linebackers. What do our linebackers need to do against their tight ends? And in pass coverage, man, Cole Kmet has had some big games versus Detroit, man. He has. And then with the addition of rookie tight end Colston Loveland, it opened up more opportunities for Cole Kmet. Now, Alex Anzalone is going to be key into shutting down Cole Kmet on Sunday. Of course, you're going to have an opportunity to see probably Zach Cunningham or Grant Stewart in certain packages when they go in 12 personnel for the Bears. And Ben Johnson will look to attack with those big pass catches on Sunday, man. And those are some of the throws. We all know that the Cole Kmet has been a safety blanket for Caleb Williams over the past couple of seasons. And then the last one, and this has got to be right up most Lions fans' alley on Sunday, is Aiden Hutchinson versus the Bears offensive tackles. Man, Aiden Hutchinson is looking to have a bounce back game because him versus these offensive tackles, especially Darnell Wright, is going to be a primetime showdown matchup, man. Wright posted an 86 rating in pass blocking by PFF in last week's game versus the Vikings at right tackle. However, if there's time to eat, this time to eat is when Aiden Hutchinson lines up over Braxton Jones, who only posted a 56.2 in pass protection against the Vikings. So the Lions will move Hutchinson from one side to the other like they do most of the game. Probably, some stunts, some twists. But you get him lined up against Jones, man, it's going to be his best opportunity probably to have a sack. So expects a lot of chips and a lot of everything over there on that side of the line when he's lined up versus Jones. But I want to see him best of the best, lining up against Wright and getting after it. I am ready to see him get back on track. They're not going to drop him back in coverage. Coach Shep has already said that. Like, Randy, you're not doing that anymore. So, and Hutchinson said it out of his mouth too. Like, he didn't, we know that the situation was crazy, and it would think it was something to try to sneak in there, but the Lions did that a lot during the Quinn Trisha era. Like, they were dropping Flowers and all those guys back in the coverage. I'm like, what are you doing? Leave our defense, leave those guys going forward. Like, I was having a fit when I saw that on Sunday, him and Davenport dropping back in the coverage. I'm like, hell no. That means that you're having your linebacker be a DN and your DN be a linebacker. That makes no freaking sense whatsoever. But all right, so I'm gonna get back to this first matchup, man, which I think is gonna be key because they're gonna be matched up against each other most of the game. And that's DJ Reader and Joe Thuney. These are two veterans. That's a two behemoths of men matching up in the interior of the line, man. What do you got on Joe Thuney versus DJ Reader?
Well, it's their interior offensive line did not play well last week. We need to dominate this, and DJ Reader over Joe Thuney is going to be a huge matchup. If anything, DJ Reader needs to take 2 blockers so that we can get some other interior pass rush, either from linebackers or blitz branch or someone. So DJ Reader just needs to hold his own against Thuney, and it'd be really nice if you could beat him and get some pass rush up the middle, and just force Caleb Williams into either Davenport or Hutch's arms. So you're right. It's the interior offensive line, and now they're going to be playing on the road. Joe Thuney, they're going to be on a silent count. We're going to have the advantage here. So I'm hoping to see a show out from our interior defensive line in this game because they did not play well in the Packers game.
All right, and then I couldn't do one side without doing the other. That linebackers versus tight ends is a key matchup on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. If we're doing our job up front, Caleb's going to be looking to dump things off. And Colson Loveland is a great option, as we know here in Michigan. Did not like that he went to the Bears. Not in the least bit at all. And then Cole Kmet. Yeah. He just always kills the Lions in inopportune times. The issue that if the Lions up front do their job and stop the run, then the linebackers don't need to press up as much, because if they get any sort of run, then it's going to pull the linebackers forward, and then they're going to be able to pass behind them with the tight end. So we need, to me, it starts up front, and that way we can get Alex in position. Hopefully Jack plays in this game. He was full practice yesterday, did not practice on Wednesday. Because we're gonna need our linebackers to be able to take away that option for the Lions. Our secondary is going to be fine. We just need to take away these emergency options for Caleb.
Okay, and of course, man, the Wolverine, like my man Coach Jones said, the Wolverine and Lion, Aiden Hutchinson versus those offensive tackles, man, especially Braxton Jones. Very poor pass blocking last week, but to his credit, Darnell Wright was one of the best guys in the league last year in pass protection.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm wearing the Hutch jersey for a reason. If you can't tell, old school gray jersey. I know that's the only Hutch I have. I'm expecting a big game for Hutch. I hope they announce the defense when he comes out, when I'm at the stadium on Sunday, just to hear the roar of the crowd, to hear Hutchinson's back. And after he showed us that he's back in introductions, he needs to show us that he's back on the field, and he needs to win these matchups. We need to get to Caleb Williams. Now, my concern here is that we don't want to go crazy, do some spin moves inside, and give Caleb some rushing lanes on the outside. So the first thing we need to do is stop the rush lanes, because I don't trust Caleb Williams enough to just beat us with his arm, as long as we're getting proper pressure. And that's why DJ Reader versus Thuney, if we can get some pressure out the middle, we'll be in a lot better shape. Another thing that I know you put Aiden Hutchinson versus Bears OT. What I want to see, because if we're going to be able to stop their run game, what I want to see is some rush packages where they put Aiden on the interior and they're going against those guards that aren't very good. And you put Al-Quadin Muhammad on the outside and Hutchinson can rush out the middle. So that's what I want to see, not dropping into coverage. Certainly not Davenport dropping into coverage. Talk about frustrating on a third down. You're taking off your best pass rushers. I mean, I don't get it. I know they were trying. It was like they were trying. Shep was trying to be too cute on his first game. I'm not really sure. But no, Hutch has got to eat. We got to get his first sack, right? We can't go 2 games without a sack to start this season. So no, he's gonna do his job. But I just don't want him to be overly anxious and leave Caleb rushing lanes, because you saw what happened versus the Vikings. He would just get to the outside. And then, he's rushed for a touchdown. He was rushing for first yards. Their leading rusher. We can't have that. I'd rather have this game no sacks and have him, just pressure to making throws than get a bunch of sacks. But then, on 3rd and 9, he's rushing to the outside, and that's so deflating as a fan, and I know as a team. So I don't want to see that.
Yeah, most definitely don't want to see that, man. Yeah, I want to see Hutch. I was gonna wear my Hutch stay, but I picked the other bounce back game for my man Penei Sewell. When Hutch got drafted, I did the throwback, so I wouldn't have to change. I know his jersey is gonna be that Hutch is gonna be the throwback jersey, so it's like the old school 50s version. So, but hey, man, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans, just like yourself. Hey, the Boss Up Ball Out podcast is brought to you by W Energy Drink, packed with brain boosting amino acids and vitamins with no sugar. Get you pumped for tackling your daily tasks. Try that new s'mores flavors they have over there, man. It costs you about $1 per drink. It's a great alternative to canned or coffee beverages, man, with no crashes or jitters. Check out the video description video for the link to the Buy W. Use the code BOSSOutBallOutPod for 10% off your order. Power your day with W. Let's get back into the chat, man, to see what they're talking about, Jason. All right, so let's see. Scroll back up here. Let's see. Sewell was horrible. Don Purse says in coverage last week versus Minnesota, decent at run support. Yes, he was, man. Don Burr, agree. People forget our running game is the strength of our team, not Jared Goff, because he has holes in his game and fear the inside rush. Okay. Our president, Bears fan, being funny. Hopefully 0, Broski Bear. We don't want to see him. We don't want to see him in coverage at all. The Hutch dropping the coverage situation has always been canned. Yeah. Calvin Shepard addressed that already, but he was like, yeah, even Hutch said, he was like, nah, I'm good. That's what we dropping. Yeah. We got some funny guys, man. All right, so here's I think defensive tackle Gervin Dexter has a good game. He should be able to take advantage of the Lions' interior offensive line. I mean, we'll see. Don Burst and Hutch will be triple and double team Davenport's Adams, etc. to beat one-on-ones and no excuses. Okay. All right. So
he's right. Like, they're gonna just key in on Hutch until someone else wins a matchup. We need someone else to take advantage of that. Either a linebacker and blitz. Branch. Branch is so effective in that role. Just get him involved in this pass rush. Someone's gonna have to beat someone in their one-on-ones for Hutch to even have a chance, for them to loosen up on Hutch. Because Campbell said it himself. If he was coaching against Hutch, he wouldn't let Hutch beat him. So that's going to be the focus. So it's going to be on the other guys to do their job.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, they're not going to let. I mean, any coach is going to say, like, I don't want this guy. He's their best pass rusher. So yeah, but yeah, it is. Jim Bear says, contain the quarterback. He can't not be allowed to run. Yeah, we both agree with that sentiment. And Jordan Love didn't do much with his legs against the Lions on last week. So I think we're better than what we think we are against the running quarterbacks than we used to be. We used to be very bad against the running mobile quarterbacks. I think we're better than what we used to be. we'll see on Sunday, especially then the following Monday when we got to face Lamar Jackson. So that's going to be the big test about running quarterbacks, man. They got those guys put up 40 and still lost.
Yes,
that's crazy. Like you don't see that a lot of times around the NFL, man. All right, so I want to get your thoughts, man. We're getting about the last 5 minutes of our show because we do old school dominoes, man. 30 minutes or less on our Friday live shows, man. All right, Jason, give me your outlook on the game, and give me once you do that, give me your score prediction against this matchup of division rivals. So what's your outlook for the game?
My outlook is positive. So week 1 is always so reactionary. You don't know who's good and who's not. We saw the Packers play again last night, played another good team, Commanders, and looked pretty dominant. I'm not as worried about the Lions as it looked on Sunday. There's a lot of things that could be cleaned up, and that interior offensive line was terrible. I mean, there's no other way to say it. A lot of missing assignments, people running different plays. A lot of that was playing on the road for their first game. That's not going to happen in this game. They're going to get that cleaned up. We will get the run game going. We're going to show them who the Detroit Lions are. This game is going to be a chess match. These coaches know each other very well. Dan Campbell's worked with Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator. It's going to be a chess match. I like our chess pieces more than I like their chess pieces. So the Lions are going to win. We also have the crowd is going to get involved. Going to really mess with their interior offensive line. They've had a lot of false starts in the first game, and that was at home. I expect them to have some drive killers. The Lions crowd, which I'll be there. I'm good for one false start by myself. Okay, so we just need to we need to just show them that we're there, and getting up early is going to be imperative. Lions offense is going to get going. I'm going 27-14 Lions in this game.
Wow, 27-14. Hey, I like that score. Score. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for our pregame show. We'll do our score predictions. We'll go all over the injury reports and all that information tomorrow morning. It'll be at 8:00. It'll be a tape show. So make sure you guys come and tune in tomorrow morning for that show. Right now it's scheduled, like I said, to be a tape show. So we'll see. But most likely, you will have a pregame show tomorrow right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. Your home for Getting Debated by Detroit Lions newsroom. My man LL and Coach Jones will be back tomorrow. So make sure you check that out, man. All right, Jason, man, tell my audience where they can find your show and when it airs over there on the Talking Grit podcast.
Yeah, so we have a YouTube channel. You could check that out. We go live. We'll be live this Monday at 9:00. I know you got to get up early for Kurt's show here, but if you're up late, want some Lions talk, similar format where we, it's Jacob Litton and I, and we, have chat. We talk with you. We'll do some film review after the game too. So if you stick around after our normal podcast section, we stay on, do some all 22 film review. We listen to the chat. So if there's a play that you want to pick, go from there. You can also find us if audio's your game. We do Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your audio podcasts, and we do 2 shows a week. So, and they're both on the audio. The second one is our game preview. So we have that up right now with, and we had Harrison Graham from Chicago Bears Now on. It's a good show. It gives a Bears perspective, someone that knows the team very well. We had some really good interviews. That was about 30-minute interview. So check that out if you want to. It's a good show.
All right, man. Thanks. Hey, man, if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow the crew on your favorite social media platforms. Coach Jones does a great job over there on Wolverine Sports Talk, and of course doing videos on this channel. His latest video for Beyond the Ropes boxing playlist, he gives a great video for the Canelo versus Crawford fight this weekend. So go check it out. I post content from this channel on all of my social media platforms, man. Of course, LL, man, he just had a great Thirsty Thursday over on his Instagram page. So make sure you check that out, man. Hey, appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, man. Shout out to Jason Harwood of the Talking Grit podcast. Got to have your guy Jacob on one day as well. Hey, make sure you guys do one thing for your man Kurt Steele. Whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my co-host today, Jason Harwood, This is Kurt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.